Alright, so another secret to success is that other people's successes should not intimidate you.
No.
Rather, it should motivate you.
It should be motivated.
Right? Because sometimes we feel intimidated. This person was able to achieve this thing. Probably in such a short time. Right? Am I so sure I'm going to be able to do the same or something? No. You shouldn't, you shouldn't feel intimidated. You should motivate that if this person can do it, I also can do it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, and also it's important for us to know that the sky is it's wide enough to,
It can take
to
all of us.
accommodate all of us, right? As long as you know that you're doing the right thing. So
Yeah.
you're not doing this particular, you don't want to be successful in this particular domain because someone else is, but because that is your call.
Yeah.
For example, now we have so many YouTubers, for example, and so many people are doing well on YouTube. Like if that's their calling, like they are doing well on YouTube. But so that's that's wide enough to take everyone. You don't want to say, oh, because this person is successful, let me just don't let me even start.
Let me go there.
No, that's wrong. And of course we've mentioned it here that you have to understand what you are created for.
Yeah.
As long as and of course we are 7 billion people in the world, so it's very possible that what your goal is would be similar to what someone else's goals are. So you don't want to be limited because that someone else is making it's success in that domain.
Yeah.
If it's what your calling is, if it's what your domain is, then please go for it.
Yeah.
Use that as a yardstick to say if someone can be successful in
as
this
a
domain,
motivation, right?
exactly,
Yeah.
I also can be successful.
Yeah, and honestly, like you said, you win your win, I win my win,
Exactly.
and we all win, So another secret to success is that there's no excuse for anybody to fail. Most people point to their parents as an excuse for their failure. No, it's that their failure should be your motivation to succeed. We heard the story of two siblings. One succeeded, the other one did not. And at the end of the day, they asked them, "What is your motivation for becoming a successful person in life?" In quote, and the kid said, "I looked at my father. I looked at the things he couldn't do, and I promised myself to do them." And the other one was asked, "Why didn't you, do all these things, And he said, I looked at my father. If my father couldn't do it, then why should I do it?"
So the perception, right?
So we have said that before. Success is how you perceive life, And there's practically no excuse that is tenable because, like you said earlier, we have time, we have talent, and we have treasure, And it's so inspiring when I saw the story of a comedian that is actually technically deaf. You wouldn't expect a deaf person to be a comedian.
Exactly. Wow.
That itself should be an obstacle. It should be an excuse for her not to be successful. Today she's a successful comedian around the world. Using her so-called deficiency to her own advantage. So nobody has an excuse. That's what I'm trying to say.
That's good.
Yeah, so having said that, it's important for us to let you know that success is a choice. I was listening to a podcast a couple of weeks ago and the person said, in this life, only 5% of people make things happen. 25% of people watch those things happen. And 70% of people are not even aware when it happened. So you can choose to be in any of those categories. Success is a choice. You can choose what to do with your time. You can choose what to do with your talent. And you can choose where to invest your time and how to invest it. And all those choices cumulatively makes up what we call success.
And I think our choices also guide our decision.
Yeah.
I think it was Apostle Salmon that was talking about, how our decisions can determine our destiny.
Yeah.
So because if you have a choice, like if you decide that, okay, I have a choice to be successful and I'm going to make a decision to be successful. So you need to first know that it's a choice. it's on the table. You know, even God, God has told us that, you know, I place before you life and death, but I plead with you to choose life. So, you know, we all have choices. God has given us, we are free will agents. So, you know, we cannot keep blaming one person for our failure of our success. We have to, you know, take the bull by the horn.
Yeah, and your choice will influence your search to know how to do it.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. So our choice is powerful.
Very powerful.
They define what our success story turns out to be or not to be.
Yeah, absolutely. And another secret to success is also that success is capable of coming by association. You know, so if you associate yourself with the right set of people who give you the right set of information, the right set of motivation, the right set of resources, you know, environment, you know, you are able to, you know, make the best out of that.
I think you have an example of how you associated with some people during your undergrad days.
Oh yes, oh thank you for that. Yes, as like I have a couple, because I was looking up to certain, you know, I call them profs and MREs and all that, right? And these people, like, they motivated me. For example, you know, in my first year, you know, I had 5 points in my CGPA, and of course that was of course I didn't know what I could do with that, right? But because I had this association with, you know, shout out to brother, you know, because I had this association with, you know, him, and he was like, oh, you had 5 points, there's a scholarship, you know, that you can get,
apply for.
You know, and it linked me up to, you know, the person that was providing the information. I think that was Kai Worried, you know, that was providing the information, and I applied for the scholarship, you know. And I got the scholarship throughout my stay in the university. So if there was no association with, you know, with that particular person, even though I have that resource or that, you know, that treasure, whatever, I wouldn't have been able to make the best of it, right? So it's very important that we associate ourselves with the right set of people.
And one thing that jumped as you were, you know, that jumped at me as you were telling the story is that it's another thing to have the talent. It's another thing to know what to do with it.
Exactly. Yes, absolutely.
And such is life. And like you said, we're an average of the 5 closest people to us, you know. And we smell like the company we keep. I mean, if you keep the right company, you get the right results.
Exactly.
And Bible actually made a reference to that a companion of the wise will become wise, but a friend to a fool will be destroyed. You know,
Yes, and if your association is not helping you, don't feel guilty, you know, telling, you know, not even telling, don't feel guilty to excuse yourself from such association. You know, because you have the power to determine, you have the power, God has given you the power, so you have the power to make the choice who you want to associate with.
You have the choice to dissociate.
Exactly, exactly. Yes, I think that's
And I think you saw a post on my phone a couple of days ago, and the person said a lot of people know a version of us that no longer exists.
Exactly.
So if you have gone past that level, you've got it right.
Exactly.
To dissociate and associate
with those that look like where you see yourself.
Yeah, those like look like where you're going. Don't be guilty.
Of course, it's not. You don't want to do it with pride and all.
Yeah, not to shame those people.
Exactly, but it's just doesn't fit where you are anymore. Or where you see yourself.
Very important. And something I would like to bring up before we wrap up this conversation today is that success is a function of what you sow. You know, if you sow what is good, you reap what is good. If you sow what is bad,
you reap what is bad.
You reap what is bad. And that's the way success works. You know, just sow well so that you can reap well. Because the seed will give you the fruits. If the seed is bad, then the fruits may be bad too as well. So well, so that you can reap well.
And it's also important, you know, for us to mention that, you know, nobody is successful alone. I know we've mentioned this before, but that's also one secret to success.
One tree does not make the forest.
No. Because if you look at when God created, you know, Adam in the garden, it was, you know, he had everything that people, you know, this day would want to have, you know. But, you know, God still saw that it was not good for him to be alone. So nobody can actually, you know.
And even prior to that, God said,
let's make
man.
Exactly.
In our image. So there was there was a
Exactly.
you know there was a synergy.
Exactly. It wasn't just
for the
saying that
creation.
I'm going to make myself.
Yeah,
That's
so
true.
let's create man in our own image. So nobody is successful alone. And in our subsequent episode, we'll be more specific about those
Who help us
who help us on our role or on our journey
to success.
to success. And we are talking about friends, parents,
Children.
siblings, children, spouses, and the list is endless. But we'll take it one day at a time. We'll take one relationship at a time, and
we hope you've been blessed, because we have been blessed. You know, anytime we come here to talk about, it's more like reminding ourselves of all the things we've learned over the years, and to see how we can be better.
Yeah. And we pray for someone looking at us this point that God will give you grace to go beyond your obstacles. You know, what you have been looking forward to or what you have admired so much in other people as success, God will give you the ability to achieve, and even more, and even more. And we pray for somebody this time that God will begin to give you an understanding of time.
Amen.
God will begin to tell you what to do by time, and your life will be a success. Amen. We can't wait to hear your success stories. And until we see you again next time, we say bye.